Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, your journey, our passion, and by Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
In today's show, why Marchione fired Montezemolo, how the auto industry is using 3D printing, and watch out, Americans are now buying more gasoline than expected. Well, let's get to the top story here, because the shockwaves from Sergio Marchione firing Luca di Montezemolo continue to reverberate throughout the auto industry. Publicly, the spin is that Montezemolo was let go because of Ferrari's poor performance in Formula One for the last several seasons. But no serious industry observers believe that. Here's my Autoline insight. Sergio Marchione has super ambitious targets to hit. He is publicly committed to growing the Fiat-Chrysler Group revenues to 132 billion euros by 2018, and he needs to spend 55 billion euros in capital expenditures to meet that goal. Everyone in the analyst community is scratching their heads and asking, where's he going to get the money? Well, he's not going to get it all out of Ferrari, but he can squeeze more out of the prancing horse brand. Montezemolo wanted to cap production levels to only 7,000 cars a year to maintain the exclusiveness of the brand. Marchione, looking at new markets opening up in China, Russia, India, and other emerging markets, thinks that production can easily be raised to 10,000 cars a year. I'd estimate that could bring in $850 million to $900 million more in revenue each year. They also clashed on whether Maserati would use Ferrari engines. Well, that argument has been settled. When you put it all together, I think Sergio wants another $1 billion a year out of Ferrari. And that's not all. Sergio has said that once the FCA 5-year plan is working, he wants to break Ferrari out of the group. Sounds to me like he's thinking IPO. Who knows, maybe he could get another $1 billion that way. So make no mistake about it, this change has nothing to do with Formula One and everything to do with the business. Yesterday we reported on the soaring success of Class 7 and 8 semi-trucks in the US, but do you know who the biggest players are? Daimler, which owns Freightliner and Western Star, leads all others with over 9,400 units sold. Next up is PACCAR, which owns Kenworth and Peterbilt. It just sold over 6,000 semis. International is in third place at over 4,600. Volvo Trucks, which also owns Mack and does not sell Class 7 semis, is hot on International's heels. Then there's a big drop-off to Ford and Hino. Did you know Hino's part of Toyota? They only sell Class 7 semis, and then come a few others that sell Class 8s. As we said yesterday, economists consider heavy-duty truck sales to be a 6-month leading indicator of where the economy is headed, and these booming sales have everyone smiling. And now we got another sign that the economy's picking back up. More people are using more gasoline. The U.S. Energy Information Administration says that Americans are now using 135 billion gallons of gasoline every day, and that is 2 billion gallons more than it forecast last November. The EIA expects gasoline to go down long term because new, more fuel-efficient cars will replace older vehicles that are not as efficient. But right now, with more people going back to work, gasoline sales are on the rise. Wow, here's one we never saw coming. AutoNation, the largest automotive retailer in the U.S., is teaming up with Hennessey Performance Engineering that will allow customers to order Hennessey upgrades from its outlets across the country. As a promotion that starts Wednesday in Florida, a Hennessey-powered 2015 Chevy Silverado will tow around a Hennessey-powered 2015 Corvette to 27 AutoNation Chevrolet outlets. Demonstration rides can even be arranged by contacting any AutoNation store to set up an appointment. But have no fear, the fun doesn't stop there. Next year, a similar plan will roll out, but this time it's going to involve the new F-150 and the new Mustang. So, let the burnouts begin. Coming up next, there's a tremendous amount of excitement about 3D printing, and we're going to show you how the auto industry is jumping on the bandwagon.
Dow Automotive Systems, driving solutions in automotive, commercial transportation, and aftermarket with innovative products like Betamate structural adhesives. Lighter, stronger, safer. DowBetamate.com.
3D printing is becoming more and more popular, especially in the automotive industry. That's why we dedicated a whole Autoline this week to the topic. In the following clip, Brian Levy from Joe Gibbs Racing and NASCAR explains how 3D printing helps the team develop parts.
Yeah, so a couple of things I have here. This first one is actually a brake pedal that we use in our race cars every single week. And this is a good example of one of the things that we can do with rapid prototyping is, say we want to change the geometry of our brake pedal. Well, it'll take 3 or 4 weeks to produce the metal part. But I want to be able to let my driver sit in the car, see if it feels the way he wants it to if it's comfortable to him, if it affects his foot in a certain way. So I can produce 3 or 4 different versions of this brake pedal, let him try them out, decide which one he likes the best, and then we can go to manufacturing with that. And it completely streamlines the process, and it saves us costs so that we don't have to produce 5 or 6 metal versions of this part on a typical CNC machine. And in the end, we're only going to use one of them anyway. So that's a great, use of the technology.
So it's strong enough to test, but maybe not strong enough to stand up in a race or for the rest of the season.
Exactly. The materials that we have available are certainly robust enough that the driver could sit in the ar, try it out, see if it feels the way he wants it to feel. And it's a brake pedal, so he can put some force onto it, really, put it through its paces a little bit. Not on a track environment, but enough for him to evaluate it as much as he needs to before making that decision to say, I want option A.
You could slap in different pedals until the driver says, this is the one I want.
Exactly.
Also joining me for this show is David Darbyshire from Dassey Solutions, which sells 3D printers to manufacturers, and Bruce Bradshaw, the CEO of Stratasys, which makes 3D printers. There's a lot of great information about 3D printing in this episode, and you can watch it all right now at our website, Autoline.tv. Anyway, that wraps up today's show and this week, so go out and have a great weekend.
Wards is the industry leader for news, data, and analysis. That's why companies across the globe subscribe to our premium service, maybe even your own. Log in for subscriber access now. Check your company's intranet for details, and rely on wardsauto.com to keep you informed.